A lot of people don't recognize that repetitive injuries are easily solved by simple tools that you can use in the gym. When you're looking at training a repetitive injury related activity, one of the things that stops athletes and even just anybody working out and exercising is that pain that occurs in the area on an ongoing basis. You start to do an exercise, you turn around and you start feeling that discomfort in a different part of your body. Typical areas of repetitive strain injuries occur: elbow, shoulder, knee, and even, other areas of the body that are used a lot. So one of the things that I find in therapy that's a common place for repetitive injuries is a shoulder joint. So I'm going to show you guys a very simple thing to do to help facilitate your shoulder, so that way you could reduce the amount of repetitive strain and injury on your shoulder. I'm Dr. Vinod Somareddy, Reddy Care Physical Therapy. Welcome to my channel. One of the things that people run into with the shoulder is the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff is the muscles that exist in the back of your shoulder. There's actually one below underneath your shoulder, your scapula. So it's a bone that sits behind your body right there. So as people move their arm, this particular area starts to become somewhat painful in a repetitive injury fashion. So typical exercise you would do to strengthen your rotator cuff is an exercise called external rotation or resisted external rotation. It's a simple exercise like this, where you're pushing the weight outward from a resistance, like in a machine here, and moving outward like this. Now, if you have a repetitive injury, what ends up happening is you start to do the exercise with the intention to strengthen it and do it, and then you start to feel pain. And a lot of times that pain is right here. So one of the ways to best prevent this from happening is before doing the exercise, you could simply come over to any object and start pushing the opposite way. So remember, over here, you're pulling the weight this way. So you want to push the weight this way, right? Or resist this way. So if you come in and you start to push inward like this, what will end up happening is it'll start to stretch the back. So pushing in will stretch the back of your rotator cuff. So as you do this a few times, you can do this just for 3 or 4 second holds by pushing in, and you do that a few times, and then you come out after that and you do your exercise. So the benefit of doing the resisted contraction the opposite way will create a stretch in the back of your arm, loosen up the muscle, and get you the full range of motion as you do the exercise, or better range of motion. So what you do is you're prepping the muscle that you're gonna work before by doing an opposite contraction. And that's the exercise. But like I said before, what people don't realize is there's simple tools that you can use in the gym or at home to get your muscles to warm up well so you can avoid having a repetitive strain or repetitive injury. It's a common place to have it where you're doing exercise, you're doing an activity over and over again, and what ends up happening is that you don't prepare very early on to limit that injury. So this will help you prepare, and there's a bunch more activities that you can do for different joints of the body that we'll go over in the future that will help you prevent these injuries. If you've enjoyed this content and found it helpful, please like or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.